Welcome to 100 Voices, 100 Stories. I'm your host, Cece. Every person has a story, and it all begins with you. Let's meet today's guest. Hey everyone, it's your girl Cece with Where It Begins magazine and Cece in the City. And I got a special guest on the line with me today. I'm gonna let him introduce himself of who he is, where he's from, and what he does.
This is Eric Miller. I am one of the owners and general manager of Yonah Mountain Vineyards.
Awesome. And thanks for interviewing with me today. But what inspired you and your family to start a winery in North Georgia?
Well, it's actually a funny story. It was the whole thing was just supposed to be an excuse to keep my dad out of trouble. And he had retired kind of at a young age, and my mother said she had always wanted some kind of farm, and she was not very specific. And we found this property up in North Georgia, not without any intention. Yeah, we found the property without any intention of even planting anything. And a friend of Dad's was like, if you plant something, you get agriculture tax discounts. It's a better rate. He's like, oh yeah, well we should do that. And that's how ultimately it started about 21 years ago, which is a horrible way to start a winery. And Dad always has to have a project. He's one of those people that has to keep doing things. And so we just started planting around 2006, 2007. We started selling wine in 2009. And then by 2011, that's when my parents were like, this is supposed to just be a retirement project for your father. And now it's getting too big. We need you to come run everything because we're supposed to be retired. So I came on full time in 2011. And then that's when Dad got really excited and he said, now it could be like a legacy business. We could develop it into something spectacular. And so he's like, let's try and make the best wine in the world. And I said, Dad, we have no idea what we're doing. How are we going to make the best wine in the world? It's like a 15,000-year-old industry. And he's like, well, we'll just hire the right people. We'll get consultants. And so we just kept building and building. We had a tasting room in 2009. Then we developed and opened our current Octagon on the farm. That's in 2014. Then we started doing weddings in 2015. We went fully solar and sustainable in 2018. We expanded our outdoor seatings after COVID in 2021. Then we added on our Airbnbs or our Bear B&Bs because Yonah is the Cherokee word for bear. So
Yes.
Yonah Mountain Vineyard is basically Bear Mountain. And so we added Bear B&Bs and then we added on our own food truck. So now it feels like four businesses in one that it seems like we're making up as we go along.
Well, that's amazing. That's amazing. And then talking about that, when I experienced the tour, the winery, when I went, I've noticed y'all talk about the octagon. So that made it more unique. So how is your winery more unique than others? What
Oh,
makes y'all different than other wineries?
oh man, there's like a whole list. It's like Dad loves to come up with original things, or all of our ideas are always original ideas. There's the list from we're the only Octagon on the East Coast that we know of as a winery. We have the only wine caves in the state. We have two dedicated
Mm.
caves that are like barrel rooms where we age the wine underground. And yeah, you've seen them, so you can come and visit. Like that's always a fun thing to come see the tour. We show you how we make wine and see the caves.
Yes.
And I think we're also the only sustainable or solar powered winery that I know of, at least in the Southeast. And we also have we do everything the hard way, like the long time consuming process, the French oak barrels, the everything that we use in our ingredients are top notch. And so we don't do any shortcuts. My father likes to say we're the only winery owners that will play live music for you, but that's only on those tours.
Well, I enjoyed the tour and I enjoyed y'all playing y'all music. And And it was very entertaining. Can you tell us a little bit about your winemaking process and what goes into producing the wine into the bottles?
Well, it's a lot. There's a lot that goes into it. We have our winemaker Tristan Van Hoff, and he's been with us since 2016, and
Okay.
he's got a dual degree. He's from Australia, and in Australia, when they give you a degree, it's a dual degree in viticulture and enology, which is the growing of the grapes and the making of the wine. Where here in America, there are two different degrees. And
Hmm.
so in Australia, he brought this wealth of knowledge, and then shortly after he joined us, he brought on one of his all-star friends and accomplices, Jorge Camacho, who is our full-time vineyard manager, and they work together as a great team. So we grow 15 acres of our own fruit, and it's we're in the minority of the vineyards around the area, and that 100% of our grapes are vinifera. Now, that's the scientific word for what the layperson may know as like, fancy wine or French style grapes. And when there's grapes like Georgia's usually known for its muscadine, which is not actually a grape. It's a different kind of fruit, but people make wine out of it and it actually grows a little bit easier. But it's not one of those traditional flavors of wine like Chardonnay or Cabernet Sauvignon or Merlot that most people are familiar with. So when you have a muscadine wine, there's like a different flavor profile. And Georgia used to be known for that. They probably still are known for a lot of muscadine. I think the largest muscadine grower in the world is in Georgia. And those are friends of ours. That's the Palks. It's a Palk farm down south in South Georgia. So what we do when we make our wine is Dad was funny since we didn't really know anything about the industry. He says, I only want to make wine and grow the grapes for that wine of varietals that I've heard, which is a hilarious standard to have. He's like, I've only heard of like, Cabernet Sauvignon and Cabernet Franc and Sauvignon Blanc and Chardonnay and Merlot. And he's like, yeah, let's just have like the Bordeaux grapes and these grapes that we like. And hilariously, that's what we did. It didn't really matter that if we'd have found the right people, they would have said, you're crazy, don't do that. That's actually harder to grow those kinds of grapes here. But we didn't know any better, and that's what we did. And so over the years, our own grapes that are very difficult to grow here in Georgia, they have now become like as good as anything else that we've tried in other states, like especially like California, which is the number one vinifera growing state in the country. So we know we're constantly doing comparisons, and we know our Chardonnays hold up to anything. And just in the last 6 years, our Cabernets and Merlots and Petit Verdot's are what we feel like as good as anything you can find here in the country. So we're very proud of the fact that we didn't know that we shouldn't have planted these grapes, but now at this point, we're making grapes that produce wine that can rival anything in the country. So that's part of our philosophy that we wanted to do. Let's see, I know you asked how we make the wine, so you want to go into that?
If you want to experience it, yes, sure you can.
I'll try and keep it succinct here. Let's see, I'll keep it short.
Okay.
You bring the grapes in and you basically squish them, right? And
Hmm.
you squish them out, and there's a first step is goes through something that takes the stems off and separates the grapes from the stem, and that's called a destemmer. And when it does that, it kind of partially smushes them up a little bit, and then you throw yeast on it. And so we're constantly mixing the yeast in with whatever we pull in, like one vineyard at a time. And then it takes about a month, sometimes more, for it to turn from grape juice into wine, right? So yeast is the same thing that's how you make sourdough bread. It's how you make beer. It's how you turn anything into alcohol is you use yeast. So after a month, then our winemaker will uh, it's called press the fruit, but I like to
Hmm.
say like he squishes them out, right? Nobody stomps them with feet. We got this machine from Italy. It's called the grape press, and it squishes every little drop of juice out of there, and then he filters it through, and he goes and he puts it into a tank to combine it all in one place. And then we do a barreling down process. Now, not all wineries will use barrels. Fun fact, uh, oak is the only kind of wood that we use for our barrels, and there's different oak from different countries. And America is like the cheapest, around 250 bucks to 300 a barrel. Then there's Hungarian, which is $700 to $1,600 a barrel. And then there's French, which is $1,000 up to, I've seen $5,500 a barrel. They're all the same size. And so in our philosophy, once Dad and the team figured out that French oak actually tastes the best, we begrudgingly said, okay, we got to go mostly almost all French oak. So I think we're about 85% new French oak that we use in our wine, which is the most expensive thing you can do when producing a wine. Like, everything else, the growing, everything else is peanuts in comparison to having $1,000 oak barrel when you age the wine. So then you age a red wine anywhere from 2 to 3 years, which is a
Mhm.
long, painstaking process. And white wines you can turn over in like 1 to 2 years. So white wines are shorter on the aging, and the red wines are longer. Then we put them in the bottle, and then we usually age it for another year in the bottle before we even release it up into the tasting room. So it's I've skipped a lot of little steps in there, but that's
I
basically,
get it. It's a long process.
yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of things to do.
But since you've been in this industry, what's your favorite wine right now? And what do you love about doing this?
Ooh, my favorite wine at Yonah or in the world?
At Yona.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, Totem
That
is
sums it down.
it's n now that this is like our life, wine has taken a more it's a bigger step into our lives. Whereas before, I'm like, oh, we're going to a nice restaurant. Let's get a bottle of wine, and I don't know anything about it. Now it's like, oh, depending on the food that we're going to eat, we should have a certain kind of wine with certain kinds of foods. And, like just being around it and just being exposed to it over and over and doing multiple tastings and blind tastings, we've kind of learned the long way, or I want to say the hard way because we're drinking the whole time, but it's the slow, long way about learning about wine. So my answer to what my favorite wine is Totem is my favorite steak food wine. That's our number one
Okay.
Cabernet. It's the biggest and boldest. I
I think
love,
that was number 6 on the wine tour. I think that's
that's
the
right.
one I picked.
That's
Yep.
right.
See, that's
That's
the
right.
one I picked because I blogged it. So I was like, oh, the last one was the one I picked. And when you said Totem, I was like, yeah, that's the one I picked. That's my favorite.
Oh yeah. On the tour, yeah, because yeah, that's right. We start from the lightest to the heaviest. Then let's see. In if I'm just drinking a red wine by itself, I love our Pinot Noir. All of our Pinots are fantastic. But then if I'm drinking in the summer or outside, I love our Sauvignon Blanc. I love our estate Sauvignon Blanc. I also love our Riesling, which is it's like a off dry, almost a dry Riesling. And that one I could drink a whole bottle. Not to say that I'm drinking too much wine, but the Riesling will go down real easy. And yeah, those are kind of my go-to. If I'm eating food with a white wine, I mean, I love our Chardonnays. My favorite over the years has been what we call stone-aged Chardonnay. And that's when we put one of our Chardonnays into these concrete vessels that we have. And that one is always, woo, when I have food or a salad or a light fish or some kind of chicken, like, man, the stone-aged Chardonnay is my favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
Which, as I
Awesome.
say all this, it sounds really bougie because, like, 20 years ago, I'd have been like, I have no idea. I know wine is red. It's good.
Yeah. But what do you love about it? What do you love about doing this now that you're full time in now?
Um, well, I love that it is never the same thing every day. Uh,
Okay.
with the history, I don't know. I feel like I come from a long line of people who never do traditional jobs. My first career was teaching drum lines and music. I got a music ed degree and in drums and percussion from Georgia State, and I'd been teaching. I taught Atlanta area and around North Atlanta high schools, and I taught at Georgia Tech for 12 years, and co-founded the Atlanta Falcons drum line with Chris Moore, who's the band director at Georgia Tech, and we did that for 10 years, and it was like I've always been doing non-traditional jobs, right? I don't think I've ever had a 9 to 5 office thing. I've either been teaching or instructing or composing and just doing random music things. And then when the winery started growing enough, I just jumped right in. And I enjoy that there's always a new challenge every day. It's never the same thing. And we're always having to think on our feet. Now, they could just be my ADHD is getting satisfied because there's never doing the same thing every day.
That's a good
Which-
thing.
But I do like it. I do it fits my personality. I also enjoy doing the tours because I love sharing what we're doing and like having the all of the presentations that we do and the events and having people really have a good time and even new people discovering how good our wine is very, very rewarding. So it's always fun. It's like, and to me and my dad and mom, Bob and Jane, like we have always been very welcoming to everybody. And it's like, I don't know any other way. Like when people come over in Dad's old career, he used to have people from his office and they would come to our house and I would have to show them like, hey, I'm 6 years old and Dad would make me play the piano and like, these are my transformers and here we go. And then, so now, as an adult, the winery just feels like a part of our home, which technically is for my parents. And everyone who comes over, it feels like, hey, welcome. Like this is our home. We literally live here. You know, enjoy the views, have some wine, have some food, and it's always very fun. And Dad still, like he's 80 years old now. He still goes down to the winery every day, and he loves to talk to any guests, any and all guests that we have. And it's keeping him young, right? I mean, he's down there, he's coming, he's talking to people. He'll pull out like a totem or a steamboat or one of our special wines, and he'll pour it for free for people. He's like, "Hey, you should try this. Look what we did here." And so it's very rewarding to just have a place that is still a job, but where everyone who comes is actually having a good time.
Yes.
You
And
know,
that's how
it's
I
not
felt. I felt like when I came there, like it was just welcoming. Like y'all welcomed us like a family and y'all treated us well. So it was great.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we love doing. We love having everybody come in and having a good time and sharing our experiences.
Yeah. But I always watch the movies and you was talking about y'all don't smash the grapes and stuff with your feet. But I
Mm,
did see that y'all are having a Crush Fest for 2026 coming up,
That's,
your event.
that's right.
So
That's
if you
right.
want to
That's
talk
right.
about some of the events that's coming up.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So Crush Fest is our once a year it's originally it's supposed to be the celebration of the harvest, right? So when you bring in the grapes, it's called the crush for whatever reason. Because I guess as soon as you bring the grapes in, you got to smush them as fast as possible and start getting the yeast on them to turn them into wine so that they don't rot, right? Like if they get hot and they're not on the vine, like they will rot within 24 hours. So the harvest is actually called the crush. And so the crush festival is we said, hey, let's just have a party and give people the opportunity to stomp on grapes with their bare feet. And we're like, first of all, no one's going to stomp on our own grapes. So we're going to buy different grapes from other places, from the neighbors or from down south, and just get fun smushing grapes, and it's like this unique sensation. No one ever gets to do it, and it is shocking at how many people say, I've always wanted to do that. So this will be, I think, our 15th annual Crush Fest. So
Awesome.
we've been doing it 15 years in a row, and we have like two huge bins so that no one trips and falls and knocks the breath out of themselves or anything. So it's these huge giant bins, and we get about 3 tons of neighbor grapes, and we stomp and we let people stomp on them. And we have like music. It's kind of like a music festival. Everyone's drinking wine. We're pouring wine. We've got about 7 or 8 food trucks. And then we started bringing in uh, various local artists and vendors, selling cool like homemade crafts. And we have about, I think we just cut it off. We have about 51 vendors that are going to be in the back of the parking lot there. So it's this huge, fun 1 day festival. You're coming in drinking art, stomping fruit. There's like 4 bands through the day. We're also going to have for the second time in a row, we're going to have the UGA Steel Band, the alumni Steel Band come, which they were a hit last year. And
Okay.
it is fun. It's like a whole day. Our staff gets killed, and they're like, "Can we ever stop doing this day?" Because it's like a 20-hour day for everybody, right? Like we're getting in there like 5 a.m. and then we're shutting everything down, getting out of there by like 10 p.m. And the staff is like absolutely dead. And then we have to flip it and turn it over and be ready to be open on Sunday the next day.
Redo it all over.
But it is fun. Like everyone, it's very, very, very fun. Everybody who comes, it's almost become like a reunion for like several groups. They're like, oh, we'll see you next year at Crush Fest. And then groups of people keep coming, and we cap it at around 1,500 people. So it's
Okay.
pretty big. It's pretty big. But yeah,
Okay.
so
Now
that's
I'm gonna ask a question for you. So, what is one quote that you live by?
ooh, let me give you the date too. August 29th is Crush Fest.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Russ would have killed me if I didn't put the date in there, right? August 29th, and it's usually 12 to 6, I think. 12 to 6. So
Okay.
your
And
question
now
is,
y'all have it, y'all. Make sure y'all go to the Crush Fest.
oh yeah, it's fun, man. It is an absolute blast. So I again am non-traditional. I don't really have a lot of favorites in life, and I could not even tell you a quote that I live by. Um, there have been, I think after teaching for a long time, there's kind of a philosophy that dad has instilled in me that I never realized until, now that I'm this middle-aged man is, like if you're gonna do something, have fun by being the best. And
I like that.
that's not a quote from anybody else. I think one of my students said that that's kind of how, I did all of my drum lines. And I would always tell everybody, I was like, look, what's going to be fun is if we're better than everybody else, and it's a
That's
lot of
right.
hard work up front, but it's very rewarding to be like, you know what, that was really hard, but at the end, we were the best at what we did. So
Okay.
that's kind
I,
of, I
I
guess,
like that quote though. Even though it's not a quote that you live by, it's still like it was because you taught that to everybody. So
mhm.
it's kind of like a quote that you go by because you
Yeah.
tell everybody else as you was teaching.
Yes. Yeah. And that's kind of how
So
we are. Like, dad is the same way. It's like, hey, it's always fun to be the first or the oldest or the best or the oldest first best or the only oldest, all these things. And it's like, oh yeah. I mean, it translates into kind of everything that we do.
gotcha. And I love it. I love it. So I do this thing with every interviewer that I have where I ask them, they ask a question for the next interviewer. So the person before you that I interviewed, this is the question that they ask you, and then you just have to give me a question for the next person. So the question they asked was, would you rather have $1 million or 40 acres in a mule?
I know it's kind of funny, right? Like that's We, we have like 200 acres.
Right. So that question would be because you have 200 acres, and that question would be different for you, but
Yeah,
at
right. Like
least you
if
know.
I didn't have already an existing farm and I it's usually the right answer is land. Land is something that they can't make any more of. So
Correct.
always the right
Okay.
answer is go with the land and you can always do something with it and it always appreciates and it's always going to be in demand. You can always sell it later for more money if you got, but you could always grow things on it, build things on it. Land is always a more valuable asset.
Gotcha. And now you have to give me a question to ask the next interviewer. Any kind of question.
Oh, Jesus.
It could be simple. It don't have to be so hard.
Uh, a question that I will never hear the answer to.
But hey, if you listen to the next interviewer, then you can hear it. Or I can let you know what they say,
That's
what
funny.
the answer
I know. See, now my brain is like going a million different directions. I'm like, what is the
is.
craziest thing I could think of? And then like an impossible question to answer. Something complicated. Like if you could create a third party political system, like what would it be representing?
Okay.
No,
I,
no, that's not my real one. No, I don't want that was
oh,
that or that's where my brain goes is how hard of a question could I come up with? About what is your best advice as an individual to try and make the world a kinder and better place?
love it. I love it. And now I'll let you know what the answer is. And so I asked everybody this on each interview, because it's 100 voices, 100 stories. So your voice matters because
Well, I got two. Well, there's again two, right? I'm always going for what's the funny answer here. My funny answer is my voice matters because I believe everything that I say is always right. But that's my funny answer.
okay.
No, so I also I think my voice matters because there needs to be more people. I guess it's thematic now. There needs to be more people who aren't trying to tell other people what they cannot do. And there needs to be more people to uplift people and to make this world and our society better and kinder and not by discriminating or telling, disagreeing with someone's opinion and trying to regulate people in any way of what they have the right and the freedom to do, especially in this country. So I think whenever I'm in a position of authority, even when I was teaching college kids or high school kids, it was always, yeah, we're working hard and how do we make better adults? And how can we, if everyone works hard at what they do and is striving to achieve the best at whatever it is they want to do, then they have the opportunity to be kind and show grace to people in the world. And people who have, who represent other people or a company or, if you're in a leadership position, you know, traditions and empathy comes from the top down, I think. And it's like this is an important, especially in, I don't know, the last 20 years, it feels there's a lot more angst and anxiety in the world and people need to find ways to make society better as opposed to blaming other things for it, right? Like
Right.
change happens from within to make things better.
I
I'm,
agree.
I don't know if I could say that. I didn't say that very eloquently, but
I understood what you were saying, and I agree with that. And
yeah.
before we get off this interview, is there anything else you would like to tell the audience today?
Well, If they haven't been, the audience needs to come and see and visit Yonah Mountain Vineyards because it is beautiful. It is relaxing. We are very inclusive. The wine is fantastic. We are open 7 days a week. If you want to unplug from the city, it's literally only an hour and a half north of Atlanta, and
Yes,
it feels like you're coming into a different country when you pull up into the vineyard.
it does. It's like it would be beautiful for weddings. I was just
Oh,
like, oh my gosh, I could just picture so many weddings here.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, we do weddings. We're doing about 42 this year, 42 weddings. It
Awesome.
is, oh yeah. It is absolutely gorgeous. We're doing so many events. We do a monthly blind tasting, which is open to the public. We have the tickets online. You can come and blindly taste Yonah Mountain Vineyard wines versus some world-class wines, which my father loves to do. And yeah, so it's come up and join an event. We're doing trivia every Thursday. Yeah,
Okay, and
always an
where can they
excuse to come see it.
awesome. And where can they follow you? What's the website?
The website is yonahmountainvineyards.com.
And that's on all social medias.
It is, yes, it's on all social medias.
Okay, and before I end, I just have one more question. So I'm doing the 50 states journey. What is your favorite state that you've been to?
Ooh, man, state. That's interesting because in my mind, like there's even different cities are very cool and very fun. And again, favorites are hard for me. Favorites are hard. Here are my favorite cities. I love New York. I love Chicago. I love Charlotte. I love San Francisco. I love Houston, Texas. Oh man.
Okay.
Denver, Colorado was very fun. I mean, I was born in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I love going to Orlando, Florida, because we're kind of Disney family.
Right.
My kids will not let me not go to Disney. Let's see, those, oh man. Indianapolis is a great fun city. Oh man.
It sounds like you've been to all 50.
You know what? And Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona is actually a very fun city also. Man. But yeah, so of all, those are my favorites. Those are my favorite cities.
Okay. So I have a bunch to choose from. Okay,
Sonoma is fun. Sonoma, California.
since you couldn't pick just one,
Yeah.
since you're from Florida, what's one thing I must see other than Disney in
Oof.
Florida?
I mean, you got to go to Miami. You got to see Miami. It is an experience to go to Miami, even though it's expensive. I would never want to spend the night in Miami. It's so expensive. But
And
Miami is very
I've been to
fun.
Miami before,
Oh man,
but yeah, it is expensive,
I do
but it's
love
nice.
Fort Lauderdale because I mean, I guess because I was born there. But let's see. Are you talking about any in Florida anywhere? There's a lot. There's a lot of fun places. Tampa. We have friends in Tampa, and it's like, well, I wouldn't actually make a special trip. Never mind, I'm not going to blast Tampa. Um,
Okay.
uh, I mean, Orlando, South Florida, the Keys, right? The Keys are so unique. If you have never been down to
Okay.
the
I've never
Florida
been to
Keys,
the Keys. I have been to Miami, but not the Keys.
yeah,
Okay. All right. Well, definitely, Eric, thanks for interviewing with me today. It was a pleasure talking to you. It was a pleasure to be able to check out the winery. And it's amazing to actually be able to meet your parents also. It seemed like y'all doing a great job. Keep it up. I love it. And I will be sharing this with all my friends and families. So, yes.
awesome. Well, I appreciate you. Yeah, thank you so much, and you're welcome anytime. Come back and let us know.
Yes, I will be back. You can believe that. Now, I'm not really a big drinker, but I love scenery places.
There you
So
go. There you
that's
go.
the thing.
And we have
All
some for
right.
everybody too, not just wine. We got wine and beer, and we're about to do THC drinks, and we've got non-alcoholic beverages. We got something for everybody.
Yes. And y'all have entertainment. So that's good too. Yeah.
That's right.
All right. Well, I appreciate you. You to enjoy the rest of your day, and I appreciate it.
You too. Have a good one.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of 100 Voices, 100 Stories. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. Remember, every person has a story, and it all begins with you. I'm Cece, and I'll see you next time.